Eventide Island might be the coolest place I've discovered in Breath of the Wild so far, not because of how beautiful it is, but because of the challenge that awaits you there. Today I'll be showing you how to get to and defeat the challenge of Eventide Island. Located just south of Hatena Village, follow the route on screen to get there by the way, you'll find a shrine. In the distance you'll see Eventide Island with its lush greenery, rocky outcroppings and towering palm trees. But did you know that you could paraglide there? Simply begin by flying and making sure you bring around 2 or 3 stamina buffing meals. I would advise travelling back to the Great Plateau and using the stamina mushrooms as many times as you can to make some really stamina buffing meals which will help you get there in only one flight. Once you land, you will have all your items taken away from you because life's a bitch, and you will be tasked with finding 3 orbs and taking them back to the altars. Because your items are taken away, I would recommend eating meals prior to landing on Eventide Island that increase your temporary hearts. Here I've used one that makes my total hearts 10 in total, and you know, the more the better. You can make these type of meals with hearty radishes and other ingredients like that. I would also recommend travelling to the island in the morning, since this prevents enemy skeletons from spawning from the ground during combat, and that can just be an absolute pain in the ass when that happens. The first thing you should do when landing is pick up as many critters and ingredients as possible. Since the island takes away your equipment, you'll have none of your food you entered the island with, meaning you won't be able to recover hearts. Try to hold on to these ingredients until you find a cooking station, which I will show you shortly. The next place you should head to is along the shore and to the right. Here you will find a small bokoblin camp with 3 bokoblins chatting around a campfire. Take them out by either picking up a Burko spear before they do, you'll find them hanging around the campfire, or forcing one of them to pick up one of the explosive barrels just like I do here. If an enemy sets their weapon on fire, you can also use them to detonate the barrels too. Just make sure you stand back when they go off because they can deal significant damage to Link if you aren't careful. Once you've defeated the camp of enemies, pick up their weapons, open the chest and head further into the island. Follow me here. You will eventually reach this muddy bog, with a woodcutter's axe in the centre. In hindsight, I should have probably cut down a tree to traverse across it, but you can just paraglide towards it instead at the cost of 1 heart if you fall in. No big deal. Next, head around towards the nearby enemy camp. You want to take out these enemies as quickly as possible since archers can cause huge damage to Link since he has no armour on. Use the weapons you gathered from previous enemy camps to take out the enemies and pick up your first orb. Follow the route I take here back to its corresponding altar. When you get to the altar, do not throw the orb into the water like I did here. Simply place it down, cut down a nearby tree, and throw it from there. Next, follow the route I take towards this enemy camp on top of the hill. This is perhaps the most important place on the whole Eventide Island map since it has a cooking station here, but you must first defeat the enemies by using the weapons obtained from the previous 2 camps. Once they are defeated, begin making food with critters and ingredients around which you found around the island. I highly recommend using a high-tail lizard to increase temporary hearts. Also, don't forget to remove the metal boxes from the altar. Below you, you will find a Hinox mini-boss who is sleeping away. I would highly recommend not engaging him just yet since you have another orb to go. If you do catch his attention, run and hide around this corner until he falls back to sleep. Instead of fighting the Hinox, head up the rock face north of him to tackle another enemy camp. Here you'll find a group of bokoblins, including an armoured one I would highly recommend avoiding. Follow what I do here carefully, take out the weak red archers and go from there. Try not to engage the armoured bokoblin or the blue moblin enemy. Sneak around and pick up the next orb. To remove the obstacle on top of the altar, hit it with stasis and hit it a few times. Make sure that the enemies aren't too close when you do this or they will hear you and attack. Okay, the final orb, the Hinox orb. I first went to the campfire we set up earlier to cook up some food and make sure I'm prepared to take on the boss. Now, fly down to the chest of the enemy and quickly take the orb, then waste absolutely no time in running back up the hill and try not to drop it like I did. You should have enough time to get to the summit where the final altar is, but be warned that the Hinox will follow you up, at a very slow pace of course. Place the orb in the altar and you've done it. You'll find your reward of 300 rupees waiting for you at the newly uncovered shrine. But be warned that enemies you've previously taken out will respawn back in after the cutscene. And there we go, that was the Eventide Island challenge finished without dying. If you guys enjoyed the video and learned something useful, please let me know with a like and a comment, subscribe if you want more videos like this one. But for now, this has been Steve, that has been Breath of the Wild, Switch Central, complete.